Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Beatles Forever. Today we're going to talk about the most expensive Beatles memorabilia. I have a love for the Beatles, and I always wondered what memorabilia about the Beatles is most expensive. If I were rich and had a chance to possess items regarding them, what would be the most expensive items? And we're going to find that out today. On the list we have, first up, is John Lennon's Rolls Royce. That went on auction for $2,898,725. This was one of the two Rolls Royces that John Lennon owned. It was the Rolls Royce Phantom 5 limousine. And this wild-looking car was originally just plain black. It had luxury inside, including a television, and John loved his TV, a telephone quite unusual in that time, a refrigerator, a phonograph player. I wonder how well that played when the car was in motion, and a rear seat converted to a bed. Before the release of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, before that came out, John had the car painted, and it appeared on the Magical Mystery Tour special later in 1967. Why did John decide to have the car painted in that design? When John went to film the movie How I Won the War in Spain, the primitive roads out there ruined his paint job. He had a black matte finish, so it was time to get a new paint job. And John's limo driver said it was Ringo who gave John the idea. They were passing by a fairground, and Ringo said, "Why not paint the car like the gypsy caravans?" John liked the idea. However, others say the idea was suggested by Marieke Coger of the Dutch design collective The Fool, who would also paint Lennon's piano that summer after Lennon commissioned a refurbished 1874 Gypsy Caravan as a present for his young son, Julian. Then a funny story that John told was this lady that got so upset with him when she saw him going down the road in this painted-up limousine. She said, "You swine, how dare you do that to a Rolls Royce?" So screamed an outraged Englishwoman as John Lennon's Phantom 5 cruised past on London's posh Piccadilly promenade in the summer of 1967. She was said to have attacked it with her umbrella. One thing is for sure, it was quite a car, and it was a cocoon for John. It had everything he desired at his fingertips while he was chauffeured around. The next item we have is John Lennon's Gibson J160E guitar, and that's worth $2.4 million. This guitar was lost by John in 1963. George and Harrison and John Lennon ordered these guitars in 1962. They were unusual at that time because they had a hollow body acoustics that could be played as electric as well as the acoustic way. And the guitar reappeared in 2008. When John first got the guitar, it was expensive. It was the equivalent of $4,500 in today's money, and he paid $160 for it, or 160 pounds, as the English would say. John recorded "Love Me Do," "She Loves You," "All My Lovin'," "I Saw Her Standing There," and "I Want to Hold Your Hand" with this guitar. That's some great songs from the early days in the band, and all the songs were classics. The guitar was lost in 1963, just a year after Lennon received it from Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager at the time. It was misplaced by a roadie right after a Christmas concert in London at the Finsbury Park Astoria Theatre. They said that actually Brian had gotten the same guitar for John Lennon and George Harrison. The serial number of the guitar that went missing was George's, but John and George didn't care which guitar they were using. They would, I guess, just pick up that jumbo, and it didn't matter if it was either one of them's. And so this didn't have an effect on the price when they auctioned it off because it was in John's possession at the time it disappeared. Next we have the Beatles Ed Sullivan Show drumhead worth $2,155,000. And this was a drumhead that Ringo insisted be put on when they played the Ed Sullivan Show. Later, the drumhead was used when it was played at the Washington Coliseum and the Radio City Music Hall. It was auctioned by Julian's in 2015. Next, we have John Lennon's handwritten lyrics of "All You Need Is Love," and that's worth $1.25 million. In 2005, John Lennon's handwritten lyrics to "All You Need Is Love" went for $1.25 million. The sheet of paper was said to have been on Lennon's music stand during the Beatles' final live televised performance. Next, we have another handwritten lyric sheet. It was from The Day in the Life, and the lyrics sold for $1.2 million. A Day in the Life was the property of the Beatles' road manager, Malcolm Mal Evans, and it represented the legendary song as a work in progress because there was spelling mistakes and the words were crossed out. It was in Mal Evans' possession, but when he died, a relative put it up for the auction. Then we have the drum skin from the Sgt. Pepper's, worth $1.7 million. And this was from the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, made in 1968. The drum head was hand-painted. So that's pretty cool. Next we have John Lennon's Give Peace a Chance lyrics that were sold for $833,664. From May the 21st to June the 2nd, 1969, John and Yoko were staying at the Queen Elizabeth Hotel in Montreal, Canada. They were there to do a bed-in for peace, and it was there that John wrote the song Give Peace a Chance, and they also recorded the song there, I think. So there we go, with John's lyrics. The handwritten lyrics are bringing in a lot of dough. Next we have the album of Please Please Me. Please Please Me was first pressed on gold and black Parlophone label, but they soon switched it to yellow and black. And these minor details can mean everything. If you can find this copy of the gold and black label, you can get 5,000 pounds or $5,000 in American money. Next, we have John Lennon's talisman necklace. And this was the verbiage that was said when it went on auction. One of the most exciting highlights of our auction is John Lennon's talisman necklace, the very same necklace worn by John Lennon in the infamous nude cover photo of John and Yoko's Two Virgins album in 1968. Between May 67 and 68, John was rarely seen without the talisman, as the instantly recognizable artifact is seen in many, many photos during the period. The talisman appeared in a London auction in 2005 after nearly 40 years out of the public view. The handmade, well-worn 20-inch long beaded leather necklace with Indian swirl cones, blue glass rings, and green and white flower-shaped buds and metal eyelets is attached by a white and gold button at one end. They estimated the value at $500,000 to $600,000. Then we have John Lennon's copy of the butcher cover for the Beatles' Yesterday and Today, and this album sold for 180,000 pounds. It's said to be a protest of the Vietnam War, and the cover shot was taken by Australian photographer Robert Whittaker, and it sparked outrage upon the album's U.S. release. Lennon had his personal copy of the album on a wall in his New York apartment until he gave it to Dave Morrell, a Beatle fan and bootleg collector. Signed by Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr, the copy is believed to be the only Butcher album bearing 3 Beatle signatures. On the back, a sketch by Lennon shows a man holding a shovel with his dog in front of a setting sun. So these are just some of the memorabilia that sold for high sums of money. It's interesting to see what the prices for the items sold and how lucky to be able to buy some of those items. And any true Beatle fan would love to have them. I thank you very much for tuning in to the Beatles Forever. And if you like the video, please subscribe or give a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. I wish everybody a good day and hope to be back soon with another edition of the Beatles Forever. Thank you. Bye.